Master of Puppets is pulling your strings. Yes, they really are, or at least they're trying. Welcome to Outta Time. Normally, this is a fringe science in time travel news show. However, today I have some rants. This is a special edition of Outta Time with something urgent about our schools in the United States. These schools are doing negative things to our children. They are trying to brainwash our children, and I am not happy about it. So today I'm going to rant. My son is 7 years old. He received A's and B's. In his case, they are called E's and S's. And his school decided that he did not deserve his honor roll award because he received an N on his report card for behavior for being shy and not wanting to read aloud in class. So many of you are thinking, who cares? I really don't care. Your kid's not special. Why does he deserve an award? Well, he deserves the award because he is an excellent student. He's excellent at math, in science, and he got good grades. And they are punishing him for not wanting to speak up in class because he's shy and because he has a dental device in his mouth that he is self-conscious about. So I went ahead and sent emails because I am shy too, first of all. I don't like speaking in person and on the phone because you're not allowed to record it. With things like this, I like to get things in writing for legal reasons. I can prove what I said, they can prove what they said. But if we need to meet face to face, we will. I will meet with the principal of the school. Now, I emailed the principal, the vice principal, the superintendent, and the school board, and told them in a very professional, well-written letter how I feel about this policy of not giving out an award to an AB student because they're shy. And guess what? I got no response. So the next thing I did was I sent letters this morning to the press. You think that this might not be effective, however, it really is. I wrote a letter to the editor of a newspaper a few years ago about Obamacare, and it was printed. I was also able to work with the county commissioners to get lines painted on a very dangerous crosswalk near the school, and the vice principal of that school said it wasn't his job. However, I, as a citizen, was able to get it done. It was done over the summer, and by the time the kids got to school, those lines were painted on. And you want to know why I did it? Because I witnessed a neighbor's kid almost get hit by a bus. So I do not take things sitting down. I am an activist. I will be the change. I will try to change things for my kids, for your kids, for anybody's kids. If it's not right, I want it changed. And I'm not going to type that's going to just sit and complain. I'm going to get it done legally, of course. So that's my major rant. What's happening is the government is trying to mold our children to be the way they want them to be. Now, shyer people could have a genetic factor. You can Google this. I'm going to talk to you a little bit later about proof and evidence that you need to look up yourself, by the way, but we're going to talk about that after this. Google it. There is research that shows that some people have genetic shyness. A lot of personality traits are passed on from the parents. I'm shy too. I don't like getting up in front of people. I have no problems talking here in front of a microphone because it's not a person. But why is that bad? Should I have been punished as a child for being shy? What would that have done to me? Do you think perhaps some children might possibly decide not to go to medical school because they've constantly been punished for who they are born to be? Not everyone is born to become a speech giver, a president, a politician, a mayor. Some people want to work in the background, and there is absolutely, positively nothing wrong with that. I just feel so strongly about this issue. It frustrates me beyond belief that they can tell a child that his grades and his accomplishments are irrelevant because he's shy. This is totally unacceptable to me, and I've already received negative feedback on other social media boards, and I don't care. There will always be people who disagree. I just don't care because I disagree with them, and it's my right to disagree with them as much as their right to disagree with me. So that's my rant. Go ahead and tell me how you feel, but just to let you know, I had to delete some comments here on YouTube that were direct insults to me, calling me names. That's just inappropriate. Disagreeing is fine, but disagree with facts. Disagree with intelligence. Do not disagree with name calling. This brings me to the next issue. My news show is more or less a news show. I'm not a documentary. I'm not PBS. I'm not a teacher. I'm not National Geographic. In fact, I often use the words food for thought. I bring things to your attention that I found in the news, in the media, and I give you something to think about. I am not always going to do the thinking for you. I am not always going to prove to you that time travel exists. I am not going to prove to you that God exists. It's not my job. If you hear something on my show that you disagree with, it's not my responsibility to change your mind. You need to do research, do some critical thinking, go out there and find out for yourself. It is not right to insult somebody because you disagree and you refuse to go out and do research because you're too lazy. I will present things to you, and if you like it, go ahead and read more about it. If you don't like it, I don't care. Whatever. You're allowed to not believe in what I say. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'll just give an example. Last week, I provided proof of global consciousness, but it was not my proof. It was a website discussing computers that are set up around the world generating random numbers. That's not my proof. If you don't believe that this organization is really doing that, how is that my fault? Tell me how I am responsible for that organization's research. I am not. I am simply the messenger. And all you gotta do is just move along. I am not going to go fly out to these organizations and meet them in person and look for the proof. Again, this is just a simple news show. I'll give you bits and pieces. If you feel like researching, feel free. My pet peeve is people that want information spoon-fed. There are people that refuse to think, refuse to do work and research. This is an on-demand world. People want answers now. They want me to go out to that organization, take pictures of the computers myself, or else my show sucks. That does not make any sense to me whatsoever. But that's just my 2 cents about that topic. Now let's get on to a little bit of news at least. I found an article, it's actually dated last year, but I still think it's pretty good news. The Mexican government has released proof of alien existence. And to the hater out there, if you want proof of that, you need to fly to Mexico to get that proof, because I'm not going to do it. All I am is the messenger. Now, this article says that they released Mayan documents and artifacts dating back to at least 1,300 years that show that the human race is not alone. So the Mexican government believes that it has evidence that throughout history aliens have been interacting with us. And of course there is evidence all over the place in cave artwork and artifacts. I mean, these are highly debated items, but you can look at some of these things and some of these items look like spaceships. Some of the paintings look like they have astronauts with helmets on. It's pretty amazing stuff. Now the next question is, where did they release these documents? That is something I don't know. So if you're out and about, if you can find those documents, hey, let us know. I mean, I'll do some looking around too, and maybe I can come up with something. But Mexico does have a long history of UFO sightings. I'm sure you can go to Google and find all of them, but I often hear as I'm browsing around of many stories of alien spacecraft flying over Mexico. Now, I think this is pretty cool that a government is almost admitting to it. But again, let's go out and find those documents. We all know that the United States government certainly is never going to admit that aliens exist. We have the Freedom of Information Act, and they supposedly released all these documents, and if you go look at these documents at FBI.gov, 90% of the information is blocked out. I understand blocking personal information, addresses, phone numbers, but you really cannot tell heads or tails in these documents because it's all blacked out. It's censored. But alas, folks, we are out of time. I hope I didn't get you too riled up. I think I got myself really riled up. But you know what, people? We have to be the change. We cannot sit around and wait for the world to become better. If we do not make it better ourselves, it will never change. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Bye-bye.